So, a very good morning, everyone. This is Lakshmi Hattioli, Faculty, Department of Civil Engineering. And today, let's begin the Strength of Materials lecture series with the subject code 18CV32. Okay. Well, I could see few of the students are joining now. Let me admit them. So, let's check out topic level objectives of previous class, the things which we have covered in the previous session. Okay, so in the previous session we have covered temperature stresses, right? So in the last two classes we have started temperature stresses and we have studied the concept of temperature stress, how to determine the stress for a single member when the temperature is raised or reduced, right? And we have also studied to determination of temperature stress on the single member in the previous class, and in yesterday's class we have studied procedures to calculate thermal stress on a compound bar, right? So normal compound bar for axial load we have solved numerical examples, and yesterday we have studied the procedure to calculate thermal stress on the compound bars, right? So let's check out today's topic level objectives. So today we shall continue the same lecture, that is thermal stress on the compound bars, but we shall check out numerical examples on the compound bars, right? So as of now we know how to calculate the temperature stresses in a compound bar, right? So we have derived two equilibrium compatibility equations, right? So hope you remember those equations. We have used alpha, temperature T, length, right? So we have derived two compatibility equations on compound bars, right? And with those compatibility equations, today we shall solve numerical examples. We shall solve three numerical examples on compound bars, and we shall also study elastic constants. Okay. So what are the four elastic constants in strength of materials? And we shall also study the relationships of elastic constants in the next class. Okay. So to let me brush off, let me take a brief brush up of thermal stresses which we have learnt in yesterday's class. Okay. See, thermal stress, when a material will expand or contract depending on its coefficient of linear expansion. Okay. Then if it is not free to move, if you have put some restriction or a fixed support, then the thermal stresses starts developing, right? So we have also studied temperature stress on a composite bar, right? Hope you remember this diagram. So depending on the coefficient of linear expansion, one material will expand large and one material will expand less compared to the other. Okay. So depending on this, we have written compatibility equation. Let me revise those compatibility equations and then we shall proceed to the numerical examples. Okay. So I'll revise from this particular figure. So if you remember this material 1, here the alpha 1 was greater compared to the material 2. So that's why in material 1, alpha 1 TL, you can see the dotted line from here to here, right? It is slightly more compared to the bottom one, alpha 2 TL. And we have taken an equilibrium line XX. Okay. So for a material 1 to reach XX, we have applied a compressive force P1, as you can see in the material 1, and for the material 2 to reach at XX we have applied P2, that is tensile force. Okay, so later on we equated compressive force and tensile force, as you can see here, and from this we came to know that sigma 1 A1 is equal to sigma 2 A2. So this was the first compatibility equation which we have used, and this is what we have studied in the last class, procedure to solve compound bars. Okay, let me revise just the formula and then I'll go for the numerical example. So in the last class we have studied, we have come to an equation, that is, you can see here, sigma 1 by E1 plus sigma 2 by E2 is equal to alpha 1 minus alpha 2 delta T. Okay, so this is the major equation which I'll be using in my numerical example. So please do remember this. Sigma 1 by E1 plus sigma 2 by E2 is equal to alpha 1 minus alpha 2 into delta T. See, alpha 1 and alpha 2, whichever is greater, you need to exchange that. Now say suppose in few numerical examples, if alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1, then what will you do? You should simply write it as alpha 2 minus alpha 1. That's all. Nothing gonna change. Of course, the diagram, representation of diagram may change, but formulatically it is just alpha 2 minus alpha 1. That's how it's gonna change. Whereas in LHS, since it is sigma 1 by E1 plus sigma 2 by E2, so nothing gonna change, right? So it remains sigma 2 plus sigma 2 by E2 plus sigma 1 by E1. That doesn't make any difference. But whereas in RHS, you can see that alpha 1 minus 2, it simply becomes alpha 2 minus alpha 1. So no need to consider negative sign here. Okay. So taking these two equations in considerations, okay, I hope this concept was very clear in yesterday's class. Today we shall study numerical examples on this particular concept, that by using these two equations. Okay, so go through the question. A steel flat of 20 mm by 10 mm is fixed with aluminium flat of 20 mm by 10 mm. So you have two flats now, or you can say it as two plates. Okay, the first is steel plate 20 mm by 10 mm, and the second one is aluminium, that is 20 mm by 10 mm. So both the areas are same. Okay, only thing is it is steel and this is aluminium. Okay, and both the areas are same and both are attached to each other. Okay, and you can observe here it is given as 20 mm by 10 mm. So a rectangular dimension, a dimension has been given here. Okay, so you should understand that this is a rectangle. If diameter was given, then you should understand that it is a circular section. So now in this case it is a rectangular section. Okay, so now this is basically a longitudinal section. So as to make a square section, okay, the cross section is square actually. Okay, so cross section is 20 mm by 20 mm. Okay, now the two bars are fastened together at their ends at a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. So the two bars are attached towards each other with the help of some bolting. Okay, and at initial temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. And now the temperature of whole assembly is raised by 55 degrees Celsius. And the question is, you should find out the stress in steel and aluminium. Okay. Now given, what is the given condition? ES and EA is given to you, that is modulus of elasticity. And you know how to convert this. We have already discussed how to convert gigapascal to megapascal or Newton per mm square. Right, 200 gigapascal, we know how to convert this in Newton per mm square. Okay, and another thing, alpha S and alpha A. What is alpha? Can anyone tell me what is alpha?
Coefficient of.
Yes, very good. So coefficient of thermal expansion or coefficient of linear expansion. Alpha S and alpha A is given to you. Okay, now by looking at these values, can anyone tell me alpha S and alpha A values are given to you? So whether I should take alpha S minus alpha A or alpha A minus alpha S?
Alpha A minus alpha S.
Yes, exactly. So if you observe the values carefully, aluminium alpha thermal coefficient of expansion is high compared to the steel. That is why aluminium will expand more compared to the steel. Right? So I can say that I should take in the formula alpha A minus alpha S. Okay, so just use that formula. That's how you're gonna calculate. So let's see the solution now. Net temperature, that is T2 minus T1. So 55 minus 26 is 29 degrees Celsius. And area for steel, see for both the sections, same area is given to you. Okay, so and area, see when I'm talking about area, it's always the cross-sectional area. Remember this. It's always the cross-sectional area, not longitudinal section area. Okay, so I need to calculate cross-sectional area. So that is why I have taken 20 into 10. Okay, so this is 20 into 10 is the cross-sectional area. So that is 200 mm square for both steel as well as aluminium. Now you can use the two formulas. The first one is sigma SAS is equal to sigma A into sigma SAS is equal to sigma A into capital A, that is cross-sectional area. Okay. Now next condition, we have also seen this condition. Okay, this formula we have solved in procedure, that is sigma A by EA plus sigma s by es is equal to alpha a minus alpha s into delta t, right? So in the previous slide, we have discussed about this. Instead of 1, 2, I have taken it as a and s. That's the only difference. Okay. So now simply substitute the values. Okay. If you substitute, see sigma s as, this equation we already know this, right? So now just substitute this RHS. Alpha a and alpha s are known to you. So 23.2 minus 11.6. Okay, into 10 raised to minus 6, I'll take it common. For both the alpha, it is same, right? So into 29, that is temperature 29. You will get it as 0.000336. I'm talking about only RHS now. Now to solve about this sigma A by EA plus sigma S by ES, okay, so I'll take down this value now. Okay, so this is the value generated. Now here what I'll do, sigma S, let sigma S is equal to sigma A. Okay, now with this I can say that the 27 into 10 raised to 4 sigma s is equal to this value. I can easily calculate sigma s now. Okay, so from this I can say that alpha A is greater than alpha s. Okay, so that's how the stresses has been calculated here. Okay, now we shall go to the next example. Let me take this example now. Okay, so just observe the example carefully. You have a flat steel bar 200 mm by 20 mm into 8 mm. Now again, it's the cross-sectional area has been given to you. It's not the diameter, so it is a rectangular section again. Okay. Now steel flat bar 200 mm into 20 mm into 8 mm is placed between two aluminium bars. So a steel plate is placed between the two aluminium bars. So in the previous problem also you can draw the same type of diagram so that you will understand. Okay. So your two aluminium bars have been clubbed for one steel plate as shown in the figure. Okay. Now for this particular figure, the following given conditions are there. That is, all the three bars are fastened together at the room temperature. So all the three bars are connected towards each other with the help of some bolting arrangement. Okay, now find the stresses in each bar where the temperature of the whole assembly is raised through 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, the initial temperature, of course, he has not given. Okay, initially it was on room temperature. Now later on it has been raised to 50 degrees Celsius, right? So no need to, there is no question of T2 minus T1 now. Directly he has given the T2 minus T1 itself. Initial temperature has been raised to 50 means now delta T is nothing but 50. That's how you need to assume. Okay, now next, assume Young's modulus is given to you for steel. Young's modulus for aluminium is given to you, that is in gigapascal, convert in Newton per mm square. Okay, next, coefficient of expansion, thermal expansion for steel is given and aluminium is given. Now you can observe carefully, once again it is alpha A minus alpha S, right? Because aluminium is 24 and steel is 12. So once again it is alpha A minus alpha S, 24 minus 12, correct? Have you understood this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's see the solution and observe carefully the diagram. The first diagram is longitudinal section. That is why in longitudinal section I have shown you the length 200 mm. 200 mm in the sense how many centimeters?
20, ma'am.
20 centimeter, very correct. 200 mm in the sense 20 centimeter, right?
20
And
centimeter.
yes, so and observe carefully, the length is 200 mm, okay, and this 20 mm is actually the breadth. Cross sectional area you should consider always. That's what I have discussed in previous slide. Cross sectional area, this 20 mm is the breadth and this 8 mm is the depth of each section. Okay, see, depth for steel is 8 mm and depth for aluminium is 6 mm. Okay, so always imagine the diagram and then you're supposed to solve. That becomes easy. Okay, so hope this diagram is understood to you. Now okay, let's see the solution of this particular diagram. So given the size of steel bar is given to you 200 mm, 20 mm, 8 mm. Similarly, aluminium bar 200 mm, 20 mm, 6 mm, right? Rise in temperature, observe carefully, rise in temperature directly T or delta T is taken as 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, Young's modulus of steel is given to you. I have converted it Newton per mm square. Gigapascal, that is 200 gigapascal in the sense 200 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Okay, how it is 10 raised to 3? We have already discussed this. Similarly, Young's modulus of aluminium is 80 gigapascal, 80 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Now, coefficient of thermal expansion of steel is 12 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius. For aluminium, it is 24 into 10 raised to minus 6 per degree Celsius. Okay. Next, first let us calculate the area now. Okay. See, area for steel. Which area you should consider cross-sectional area? Remember this, right? So it is 20 into 8. Let me tell you in the previous slide what is cross-sectional area. Okay. See, let's see, take the aluminium bar now. The second diagram is cross-sectional area. Okay. Observe the aluminium part at the first portion. What is the cross-sectional area? 20 into, what is the cross-sectional area? 20 into for aluminium. Okay. Here you can see it is 20 into 8. Here it is for aluminium, it is 20 into 6. See, for 20 into 8 for steel, similarly for aluminium, it is 20 into 6. So I am taking only cross-sectional area. Whenever any area you are supposed to take, it is always the cross-sectional area. Okay. Next, observe carefully for steel. See, there is only one plate steel. So that is why 20 into 8. But whereas aluminium, you have two plates. Correct? So what I did is 2 into 20 into 6. 20 into 6 is basically one aluminium plate area. I have multiplied by 2 because two plates are there. Correct? Now it is 240 mm square. Okay. Now after this we know sigma s as is equal to sigma a into a. Correct? So use this condition. Okay. We have derived this actually. Okay. So we know that stress in aluminium, that is load in aluminium is equal to load in steel, right? Compressive force and tensile force we have equated in the previous procedure. Hope you remember that. So that is why I can write in general sigma s as is equal to sigma a into a. Correct? Area. So I have taken sigma s outside here. Now what remained is sigma a divided by as into sigma a. So now area for aluminium we have calculated, substitute. Area for steel we have calculated, substitute, into sigma a. Keep it as it is. So now you will get in condition. Okay, you will get in condition that is sigma s is equal to something of sigma a. Even in previous problem you should do the same thing. Okay. But even in previous problem you should follow the same procedure. Sigma s is equal to something of sigma a. This condition you should get. Okay. Now you got an condition sigma s is equal to, that is stress in steel is equal to 1.5 times the stress in aluminium. Okay. Make a note of this. Call this as equation 1. After this, okay, after this, of course, no need to do this initial procedure. You can directly take the formula. Okay. So initially you can just write this as just procedure wise, but if you write the last equation, that is also very correct. So okay, I'll start it from here. We also know that total strain. Okay. So from the total strain you can start. Even you don't you're not supposed to even write this also. Directly you can write it from sigma s by as plus sigma a by aa is equal to delta T into alpha A minus alpha L. Okay, this is a general formula. For that general formula, I have substituted here. That's all. Now, sigma S by AS is known to me. So I have, ES is known to me. I have substituted here. Plus sigma A divided by capital EA. Correct? Capital EA. So that is Young's modulus of aluminium. That is 80 into 10 raised to 3 is equal to alpha A minus alpha S. Okay, see, T is common. 50 is common for both the things. I have taken it outside. Alpha A is 24 into, even 10 raised to minus 6 also you can take it outside. Not an issue. So 24 minus 12. So now this is the whole equation you have. Okay, just remember this equation and substitute. That's all. Now, for this particular equation, you can see in the whole equation you have two unknowns. Which are the two unknowns in this particular equation? Sigma S and sigma A. Correct? You have two unknowns now. But for this particular unknown, we have derived equation 1. What was that? Sigma s is equal to 1.5 sigma a, right? So just substitute that. Sigma s is equal to 1.5 sigma a. In the next equation, I have substituted. Sigma a, I have kept it as it is. So now this is the equation. So now it's very easy to solve this now. For one whole equation, you have only one unknown, that is sigma a. Correct? So take the sigma a outside. So operate this mathematically. You will get it as aluminium stress sigma a is equal to 30 megapascal and steel stress sigma s is equal to 45 megapascal. Right? Is this understood to you all? Is there any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what
No,
about
ma'am.
others? Have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Kavya, Manikya, have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see,
ma'am.
just looking at the slide, and getting to know the things, is not that useful. Okay, so what I request is, take a pen and paper, just take the question from the assignment question and try to solve it by your own. Okay, then you will understand what problem you will face. Okay, so maybe when we'll be explaining, you may feel that it is easy, but when you start solving, then you will understand the actual problem. So what I request is, make a separate book for numerical examples, try to solve this. Okay, so because these are direct questions for around 10 to 12 marks, so I want everyone to solve it individually. Okay, see, actually, basically speaking, you have only two equation. It's simply that you just substitute and you will get the answer. You need to operate mathematically, but provided you should know how to take the unknown quantity from LHS to RHS and RHS to LHS, right? And even the cross multiplications, that's very important. Okay, so if you go wrong just by plus or minus, then entire procedure goes wrong. Correct? So be very particular. Try to solve this individually, then you will understand. Is that okay? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking another example. Okay, we'll take another example now. Okay, so now whatever the example we have studied, as a continuation, we'll take another example of same kind. Only thing is I have changed the values now. Okay, now observe, a steel flat of 20 mm by 8 mm is placed between two copper bars. Previously it was on aluminium. Now I am placing the steel plate on copper bars. Okay, so steel plate is 20 mm by 8 mm and copper plate is 20 mm by 6 mm. Okay, and both are held in position to form a composite bar of section 20 mm by 20 mm. So now entire cross section. See, steel is 20 mm by 8 and copper is 20 mm by 6. Okay, now entire cross section is 20. He says that entire cross section is 20 mm by 20 mm. Okay, now uh, the, the, the three bars are fastened together at their ends. Now all the three bars, one steel bar and two copper bars, all the three bars are fastened together or tightened with the help of some bolting arrangement. Okay, so now after this, temperature, the three bars are fastened. Now the temperature is raised at 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, when the temperature is taken as 30 degrees Celsius, the whole assembly temperature is raised by 30 degrees Celsius. See, initially it was 30. Okay, that's what he says. Initially the temperature was 30. Later on, the whole assembly, it was changed to once again 30. Okay, it's not 30 minus 30. Do remember this. It's not 30 minus 30. It is that T2 minus T1, you will get it as 30. Delta T is 30. That's what the meaning is. Okay, now determine temperature stress in steel and copper. Okay, for this particular he has given. Now this is slide change. In previous directly he has given you Young's modulus for steel and Young's modulus for aluminium. But in this case, slight mathematical change has been given. Young's modulus of steel is equal to 2 times of Young's modulus of copper, which is equal to 210 kilonewton per mm square. And alpha S and alpha copper is given to you. Now, I'll tell you what are the changes in this particular problem compared to the previous problem. Okay, observe the wordings carefully. The changes is previously aluminium and steel was used, but now I am using steel and copper. That's one change. Okay, and observe carefully. There is a sentence given. The entire composite bar section is 20 mm by 20 mm. Can anyone tell me how it is 20 mm by 20 mm? Steel is 20 mm by 8 mm. Copper is, there are two copper bars 20 mm by 6 mm. So how is that the total cross sectional area is 20 mm by 20 mm? Can anyone answer this? Yes, can I get the answer from somebody? Amog? Manikya?
Cross sectional area.
No, okay, fine. Just observe the wordings carefully. Steel bar is 20 mm by 8 mm plate, cross sectional. Okay, and two copper plate 20 mm by 6 mm. Now both steel and copper, it makes the entire section as 20 mm by 20 mm. Can anyone tell me how it is?
6 plus 8 mm.
Very correct. Exactly. Very correct, Amog. See, 8 steel thickness is 8 and copper thickness is 6. But copper you have two plates. Correct? So when you draw the diagram, when you show two copper plate, 6 plus 8, how much is the value? 20. Are you getting my point? 6
Yes,
plus
ma'am.
6 plus 8.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is why the entire section is 20 into 20. So you should draw the diagram, then you will understand this very clearly. Okay. So I hope this question is understood to you all. And observe carefully, alpha for copper is higher than the steel. So I should take alpha copper minus alpha steel. That's one thing. So now let's see the solution of this particular problem. Net temperature delta T, that is T2 minus T1, okay, 30 degrees Celsius, okay, and area for steel, it is cross sectional area, okay, 20 into 8, cross sectional area, that is 160. Similarly for copper, observe carefully once again, you have two copper plate, 2 into 20 into 6, that is 240 mm square, okay. Now we have taken for equilibrium, right? So for equilibrium, sigma s as is equal to sigma c into ac, correct? So usually we take force in copper is equal to force in the steel. So force is nothing but stress into area. So we know this compatibility equation, right? So sigma s as is equal to sigma c ac. Okay. Now you know the value for area for steel and area for copper. So substitute it. Once again, you will get a condition, something known as sigma for steel is equal to something of sigma for copper. How did you get this? Just substitute for area for steel and area for copper. When you substitute, take sigma s outside and divide sigma cu by as. You will get it as 1.5. So now I got a condition, that is sigma s is equal to 1.5 sigma cu. Call this equation as 1. Okay, keep it as it is. Next, you have another condition. Okay, you know this condition, we have derived this. Sigma c by ec plus sigma s by es is equal to alpha c minus alpha s into delta t. Previously we have taken it as sigma 1, sigma 2. Now since specific material is given to you, I am taking it as sigma copper and sigma s. Okay, I hope this equation is clear to you. And let us substitute this. Okay, first of all, I'll substitute the LHS part. See, RHS part, that is alpha c minus alpha s. What is alpha c minus alpha s? That is 18 minus 11 into delta t, that is 30 into 10 raised to minus 6. Right? So you will get it as 0.00021. Okay, next, now let's see the RHS part. That is sigma cu divided by 105,000 plus, what is 105,000? This is Young's modulus, correct? Plus, observe carefully, for sigma s, I have substituted it as 1.5 sigma cu. Whatever we have kept for the equation 1, substitute it here, divide by Young's modulus and take it equal to 0.00021. Is that okay? Have you understood up to here? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So once
Yes,
this
ma'am.
portion is understood, now observe carefully the entire equation. The entire last but one equation is in the form of sigma Cu, that is stress in copper. So just take that sigma Cu outside, operate it mathematically, take the LCM properly, or you can directly operate it in your scientific calculators. You will get the answer as 12.6 megapascal. Okay, so sigma copper is 12.6 megapascal. Now once sigma copper is known to you, I can calculate sigma for steel. How? Can anyone tell me with what equation I should use? Now sigma copper, I got it as 12.6 Newton per mm square. How should I calculate sigma S?
Sigma steel is equal to
Sigma
1.5 into
Very
sigma
correct,
copper, ma'am.
exactly. Yes, very correct. So use the first equation, sigma S is equal to 1.5 sigma Cu. Okay, so use that, you will get it as stress for steel. That's it. Okay, so now I calculated stress for copper and stress for steel. Have you understood this up to here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now my last question to you. Yes, my last question to you all. Can anyone tell me, for stress in copper, I have written it as compressive stress into bracket. And for stress in steel, I have written it as tensile. Can anyone tell me why did I write and how did I write this? Yes, just remember my previous slides and tell me how did I write compressive for copper, tensile for steel? On what basis?
Sigma copper is less
At the
than
initial, ma'am,
Yes.
sigma copper is 18, and after the calculation, sigma copper is 12.6 megapascal.
Sorry? Huh?
At the initial, ma'am, in question, sigma copper is 18 into 10 raised to 6.
Sigma copper or alpha? You're talking about alpha or sigma?
Ah.
Yes,
Ma'am, alpha
Bhagyashree, you're
thermal coefficient, ma'am. Coefficient of thermal expansion, ma'am.
okay.
For copper, it is
Huh.
greater than steel, ma'am. So it
Okay.
is.
Yes, very correct. Yes. Who? May I know your name? Is it
Shilpa,
Shilpa?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
very correct, Shilpa, very correct. So the thing is, just remember my previous slide. Okay, just remember my previous slide. I'll show you my previous slide also. I'll show you the previous slide. I'll tell you how did I write that compression. Okay, just remember this slide. See, in material 1, alpha is higher, right? In material 2, alpha is lower. Okay, so for material 1, when alpha is higher, okay, when alpha is higher, which type of force I have applied here to bring it back to XX?
Ma'am,
For
compressive stress, ma'am.
compressive force. So now you can imagine this only.
Shear
Whichever
force.
material it is, if the alpha is higher for that particular material, then definitely I should apply a compressive force to bring back to XX. When alpha is lower, I should apply tensile force, as you can see in this picture. Is it understood to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Right.
Yes,
So from
ma'am.
this, I can say, of course, that question was not asked to you whether it is tensile or compressive. Okay. But depending on the diagram, we have written it as copper. Stress for copper is compressive and stress for steel is tensile. And the reason is also written because copper, alpha for copper is greater than alpha for steel. Right. I hope these temperature stresses on compound bars is understood to you all. My another thing is, I want everyone to solve one numerical example on compound bars for a circular section. Okay, I'll give you an example in assignment also. Okay, I want everyone to solve compound bar numerical example for temperature stress for circular section. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my next
Yes,
last
ma'am.
concept of today's class, you have 4 elastic constants. Okay. So usually the question is briefly explain and define 4 elastic constants and the relationship. Okay. So the relationship of elastic constants we'll study in the next class. Today, elastic constants, there are 4 elastic constants. Of course, we already know the definitions. The first one is elastic modulus or modulus of elasticity. Okay, can anyone tell me what's the definition of modulus of elasticity?
Stress upon strain within the elastic limit, ma'am.
Very correct. Yes. Stress is proportional to strain within elastic limit. That is stress by strain within elastic limit is Young's modulus. Next, Poisson's ratio. We have already discussed this. Anyone?
Ratio of lateral strain divided by
Lateral strain
longitudinal.
divided by longitudinal
Very
strain.
correct. Yes, absolutely, Manikya. Ratio of lateral strain by linear strain is Poisson's ratio. Next, have we discussed shear modulus? Yes. Okay. Thing is, shear modulus and bulk modulus, we have not covered this definition yet. In the next class, we'll cover the definition of shear modulus and bulk modulus, and we shall see the relationship between elastic constant between all these four. Okay. See, you have three equations, which is a relationship between all these four quantities. Okay. So, for example, E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. So you have such equations, relationship between all these four quantities, which again I'll be using it in my numerical examples. So that will be your last concept from this first module. Okay, that will take up in the next class. Okay, so regarding shear modulus and bulk modulus
ma'am.
definition and the relationship, we'll take that in the next class. So that will be completion of your first module. Okay, is this understood to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have also given you assignment questions related to first module. Okay, have you started solving it?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have given the theory questions, remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay, so practice well. If you have any other doubts, you can always contact. Okay, so
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
to
Okay,
summarize,
ma'am.
we have learned
Thank you, ma'am.
temperature, stress, elastic constants, and numerical examples on compound bars. Okay, so that's all for this today's session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.